Okay, I just recently ordered on eBay and got in the mail the booklet to the album by The Who, Quadrophenia, the classic 1973 album, based on the story of Jimmy, the scooter riding mod who lived in London in 1964. It's a classic album because it kind of took The Who at the height of their powers in 1973 and also kind of related their music at that time back to their origins in 1964. And this Jimmy was a character that Pete Townsend made up. It's just a great album. Got to be one of the best classic rock albums ever, really. But, you know, over the years, I'd lost this little booklet that came with it. There's the track listing. I'd lost this little booklet, so I don't really remember it, so I haven't looked at it yet. I'm just going to open the book and walk through it and kind of do a reaction talk video. But I used to have this book, of course, years ago, and it was $12 for this little booklet. So I'm just going to walk. We're going to look at every page, and I'll just kind of talk as we go. I think that's a house. I think they did this kind of stylized black and white photography. I think there was a big part of the album, and they got this kid to play Jimmy. I guess I saw a documentary on Quadrophenia. They can't find the kid who played Jimmy, but apparently he was kind of a Jimmy in real life, kind of a troubled teen. But anyway, there's a sort of a London-looking tenement house. I guess that might be where Jimmy lives. Let's open this booklet. I haven't seen it in years. So in here you've got the lyrics. Cut my hair, Quadrophenia, The Punk Meets the Godfather, I'm One, all those songs. And that's a famous picture. That's Jimmy. That's Jimmy riding his motorcycle, his scooter. By the way, that is the same thing you see on Pink Floyd Animals. I forget what it is. And if any of you like video games, there's a video game called Broken Sword 5. And it's in one of the scenes there, too. It might even be on a couple other albums, but I know that's on Pink Floyd, and it's also on this album. It kind of has that industrial look, doesn't it? Kind of a sort of a bleak-looking building. So this is supposed to be London in 1964, even though these photos were taken with the album. I guess this would be Jimmy at home with his parents. Of course, he talks about, I know I should fight, but my dad is all right. I guess that would be his dad. That's his mom. That's kind of a little London house. Probably kind of a little lower middle class house, I would say. Of course, houses tended to be smaller in England, so in general. But let's say that's kind of a lower middle class house, maybe a middle class house, but kind of a humble, but, comfortable English dwelling. There are his parents. And there's Jimmy, the star of Quadrophenia, always kind of pissed off. But he seemed to like his dad. He said in that one line, Townsend said, I know I should fight, but my dad is really all right. Okay, well, here we got, that's the food. Oh, my gosh. They're smoking while they eat. All right. That looks kind of English. Might be fish and chips. I don't know. Anyway, whatever that is. And this is Jimmy's got that's a Who t-shirt on, isn't it? I guess that would be the Tube in London, maybe? Let's see. There's Jimmy on that scooter, a GS scooter. I ride my GS scooter by the wind and sea. That's all the. This is kind of the story of the mods. So Jimmy was a mod. You know, the subtext of Quadrophenia is the mods and the rockers. They were two kind of social cliques that were almost kind of like gangs, not really like gangs, but kind of reminds me of like high school. You know, you'd have like the burnouts and the jocks and the geeks, the mods and the rockers. I think they say the mods were kind of a little bit like forerunners of the hippies. It's a little too early to be hippies, but and they often had a little more money in their pocket. I've read that. Rockers were kind of like 50s, like Elvis kind of still wore the leather jackets. I don't know if that's a good characterization, but that looks kind of like a London 1964 kind of a tough street scene, but You know what, though? It's kind of a tough street scene, but you do have some people hanging around, so probably always something to do. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it looks like, is that Jimmy maybe at school or work? Don't know. There he is. He's trying to talk to that girl, it looks like. Oh, Jimmy always had a big-time teenage crush on some pretty girl. Here he is taking out the trash. Oh, you know, doing the menial jobs that teenagers get forced to do. He might be doing that for his work or for his house. You know, in that one song in Quadrophenia, you have Bellboy, and, you know, that's which is Keith Moon singing, carry your bloody baggage out. And it seems unflattering. Those are jobs somebody has to do, but, you know, lugging stuff around, those aren't very glamorous jobs. Here he is taking out the trash. Let's turn the next page. Oh, and there's the trash. I'm trying to think what the significance of the trash might be. I'll revisit the lyrics. There's the trash. Kind of an interesting photograph, isn't it? You think of all the beautiful things to photograph. Here we're going to photograph somebody's breakfast with cigarette butts. We're going to photograph trash, kid taking out the trash. All right, this is I remember this. This is a street scene in London. Look, those period cars. It looks like they're almost looks like he's up to some shenanigans. I don't know. Did he oh, he smashed. Oh, look, he smashed a window there. Oh, vandalism, teenage vandalism. Yeah, he smashed a window. Look at that. That's Jimmy. Yeah, I think this is two. So that's the car there. And let's see. And here it is in this page. And Jimmy has just smashed the window on that 64 car. And look, the bumpers come off too. I wonder if they're breaking into the car to steal something or just vandalizing. I don't know. Let's turn the... Oh, look, they turned the car upside down. Oh, what a bunch of rowdies. Holy. London in 1964. Kind of the good... You know what? Hard Day's Night came out in 1964. It was a great time for music, a dawn of a new era of music and culture. Look at that kid just kind of looking at the car. What in the world? They just tipped that car over. Looks like kind of a tough London neighborhood, doesn't it? I always kind of picture Roger Daltrey being from neighborhoods. Where's he from? A place called Shepherd's Bush or something like that? I don't know. I read Roger Daltrey's autobiography. Okay, here we've got... Oh, looks like maybe they've gone to see a band. It might be the Who, right? Is that Townsend? It looks kind of like Pete Townsend. But Jimmy and his friends like to go see bands, and of course the Who is one of the bands they see. And he talks all about the Who. Is that Pete Townsend? These photos are kind of cryptic, actually. I believe that's Pete Townsend, maybe. Of course, he looks a little older there than he would have been in 73. I don't know. Yeah, that's Roger Daltrey. I think that's Pete Townsend. That's Roger Daltrey. So, that's Roger Daltrey right there. I believe that's Pete Townsend. That looks kind of like Pete Townsend, but he looks too old. Might be kind of a trick photo. Okay, we've got somebody let the eBay people to send a name. Okay, look, here's the concert they're going to see, and it says the Who. So there we go, the Who. Two nights, 6:45 and 9:45. You've got, is that Keith Moon there and Pete Townsend? Yes, it is. And looks like they're maybe coming out of the show or going in. August 24th, 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. The Who in concert. All tickets sold. Is that Jimmy on his GS scooter? And The Who was kind of a mod band, and Jimmy was a mod, so. Oh, look, here we go. There's Jimmy. Did he wreck his scooter, or he's just kind of sitting there? I didn't think he at one point he does wreck his scooter, and then he steals another one, actually. I don't know if that's the wreck. Oh, look, here's Jimmy. Oh, we've got some beautiful women scantily clad there. And there's Jimmy in his bed. Pictures of Lily, maybe. Reference to Pictures of Lily, huh? And teenage pin-ups. I don't know. Would your mom let you have all those pictures like that in your room when you were a teenager? I think he's got a bunch of, what's there? It's like maybe those leapers, huh? Some girly magazines. A record player. A wastebasket. A Union Jack. I hope these pictures are coming out okay. What's this one? Oh, I think this is when they go to, this might be Waterloo Station. Okay. Speaking of the Kinks, Waterloo. Yeah. And he's getting on the train. This is 5:15, right? He's getting on the train to go to Brighton Pier. Of course, 5:15 is one of the greatest songs The Who ever did, which automatically means it's a great song. That's what it is. There was kind of all the kids would gather at Brighton Pier. And the mods and the rockers both kind of congregated at Brighton Pier down on the water. And there was an actual kind of a famous fight there in 1964 that's alluded to in the album. There's Jimmy on the 5:15 train. Has that kind of Hard Day's Night look to it, doesn't it? Doesn't look like he fits in too well. There he is. Look, oh, he's in Brighton. So he's now in Brighton. He's gone to Brighton on the train. Doesn't know what he wants to do. Just drifting around, looking for something. I don't know what he's looking for. Coffee, tea, jellies, eels. That's English, very jellied eels. All right. Got some Coca-Cola there. A little bit of Americanism. Seafare, jellied eels, oysters, cartons to take away. That's a kind to take away, not to take out. That's English. Fish and chips. That's English. So, the quintessential English little diner there. Might be pretty good. They say England doesn't have good food like France. I don't know. It's good enough. There he is at Brighton Pier, walking around looking for who knows what, huh? There he is. Oh, and there's the bellboy. I think that in the album that bellboy is played by Keith Moon, but he was kind of a cool mod, and then Jimmy he was a cool mod in his private life, and then one day Jimmy saw him in his job, and he was a bellboy lugging bags around, and that was kind of one of the straw that was a straw that broke the camel's back in terms of Jimmy's disillusionment. Look. Oh, look, Jimmy's. Looks like he's had too much of something there. And he looks like he's under a dock, maybe, huh? There he is, yeah. Kind of aimless. Here he is, just kind of sitting around. And there he is getting the boat. That's a famous picture. He's getting the boat. I think he steals this boat. There he is getting in the boat, and he's going to take it to the rock. That's Drowned Sea and Sand. And he's going to go to the rock, that great instrumental on side 4. He's going to take this boat to the rock. There he is taking the boat to the rock. Now in this, it looks like he drowned, doesn't it? I hope not. I always thought it was ambiguous what happened to him, but he goes out to this rock, and that's the end of that story on the inner jacket of on the gatefold of Quadrophenia. That looks like he drowned. But unfortunately, it looks like he's still alive. Or where he is, we don't know. But is that the rock maybe? But he's maybe on a little island or some kind of outcropping. Yep. So it looks like the last couple pictures, it looks like he lived. We'll say he lived. And we'll say he grew up, learned from his short but eventful time as a mod in London of 1964 and went on to become a productive citizen of England and the UK. Who knows? Then we've got the lyrics there. I've had enough. Look at drown, sea and sand. See, we're getting into 5:15. Why should I care? Girls of 15. Oh man, what a great song. Dr. Jimmy. That's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I think. The Rock, and then Love Rain O'er Me. One of the best songs ever, I would say. And there, the rock is empty. So I don't know if the symbolism. Jimmy's alive. He made it. It looked like he drowned there for a second, but he's alive. And the rock is empty. I guess that means he went back to live his normal life and grow up and be a man, huh? Great album. One of the best. Thanks. God bless.